Hi, I'm Marco Villenius, the traveling futurist. Now I'm going to talk about what is the future of Russian and Ukrainian relationship. You know, now there is a war between these two countries, and or we are telling to each other that these countries are actually at very bad relationships. But when we take a little bit steps further to the future, we soon start to realize that maybe there is something more than just the current war which is at stake. If you look at the past, you see that there has been a huge interrelationship between those two countries, meaning that there are families, there are kins, there are all kinds of people that have been committing to each other, and business relationships, all kinds of relationships that have been there at the front when these two countries have been living together. Sometimes so that Ukraine has been a part of that, Russia like the Soviet Union times, but now for last 30 years plus, Ukraine being an independent country. When we look at the future is always different. Future is something that is not happening the way things happen today. And that is something we always come across time and again. Take 20 years from now, and you can be sure that the Russian-Ukrainian relationship is very different to what it is today. And of course we can assume many different scenarios there. One is that it gets even worse, the other one it stays as it is, and the other one is that it gets a little bit better, and then the one that says that, well, actually they become best friends. As I said in the beginning, this kind of idea that they would really have a close collaboration in the future may sound quite far-fetched now, but 20 years, if I try to reach 20 years from now, is a long time. A lot of things can change. It's been a very tough, particularly for Ukrainians that have felt that out of no reason, Russians with the Putin cronies have invaded the country that is independent. And of course it doesn't make sense at all. But as we move into the future, the people in the power change, and the world changes around them. The fact is that the geographics will determine much of the future, but at the same time, the world itself will prove that a lot of disruptions may happen, and some of them might be positive. 20 years from now, take this scenario, that 20 years from now, they will actually have a very, very close relationship that has been, of course, tested with this war. But as the Russians also will participate for the rebuilding of the country, that already will gain some of this relationship back. And when you take 10, 20 years more, there might be coming a lot of new aspects of this collaboration and the friendship that has been there for the centuries. And we forget those parties that have originated this current state, what we are living today, which is that there is a lot of antagonism and hatred and even war there. It's not going to be wiped out, this is not what I'm saying, but the new generation always try to make things in the better way. This is our kind of a human condition. And I strongly believe that this is going to be a case for the relationship with this country. It just requires the new generation. You see, the generation which is currently there, particularly on the Russian side, is still the kind of generation that gets its kind of a patterns of behavior from the Soviet times. And of course, that's long gone. And 20 years from now, it's even much further long gone. So I do believe that at that time, we have a totally new, more international generation on the both parties, particularly in the Russia has changed a lot. And with that new generation, which embraces the global value of solidarity and companionship, I believe there is a good chance to recapitulate, to rediscover the warm relationship these countries and the people, particularly in the side, have mostly had. So just need to think that the current situation is not something that is blocking the future. Just stating what the things are now. 20 years is a rather long time, and a lot of things happen. If you look back, every 20 years slot, you time again will discover how different world can be in a 20 years time. And this is also true with the next 20 years. So lo and behold, but you will see a very different kind of relationship from 10, 20 years from now. That's what I can guarantee. Subscribe to my channel and look at the other videos that are related to this very topic. I want to ask from you, where do you see 20 years from now this relationship to go? Give your comments, please.